Well, it finally happened. I had a flight delay. I'm never sure whether you should claim or not, but I'm going to take you through what happened, how I arrived at my decision, and what I did about it. And if you stay till the end, I'll give you some options.
That's why you're not on the airplane right now, because they're going to have a look at how much extension there is on the name next to the airplane.
And that last piece of footage may come in crucial later. We had a fantastic trip to Athens. It was brilliant. We were lucky enough, or so I thought at the time, to have a late night flight back. So that gave us the whole day in the city, and we were due to fly out at 10 o'clock. Fantastic. Well, 10 o'clock came, and we'd had a notification that the plane was delayed, and this is all part of me making my decision. By the point we were about 2 hours delayed, I was starting to ask airport staff, what are our rights? And he was saying, plane should be boarding soon, I wouldn't worry too much, you'll have to contact the airline, fair enough. But places were starting to close down, I need coffee, especially at that time of night, and we were eventually huddled through to the passport control area. Once we got in there, an announcement went out to say, can people please stop asking about their rights? Now bear in mind at this point we were over 2 hours delayed, and you're entitled to at least a snack or a drink or a meal, and contact Wizz Air ground staff. We're talking it's after midnight, so I goes up and ask, can I speak to some Wizz Air ground staff now that I'm this side of passport control? He goes, there's none around. So at this point I started to become a bit hacked off. Well, you would, wouldn't you? Basically they didn't give us stuff. More time elapses, and they'd actually started boarding some of the passengers by this point. And then all of a sudden, boarding stopped. And a few minutes later, the pilot came out and he made this announcement.
Okay, but we don't get into this checked. That's why you're not on the airplane right now, because they're going to have a look at how much extension there is on the name next to the airplane. If I put all you guys on there, it's going to sit down, because you wait a little bit more than the next airplane. So I'm so sorry we're a bit delayed. Now, I'll be quite straight with you now. We're already out of hours. I'm into captain's discretion right now if I go up to Luton. So in about an hour and 40 minutes time, I'll be completely illegal to fly you back. So it's arranged for engineers to check this airplane now.
Which may come in critical later. Basically, he was telling us that because of weather, they'd had a delay coming in. He smacked it into the runway quite hard, and he wanted to have it checked out, which all said and done is a good thing to do. But of course this delays it further. There was also the risk that he was an hour and 40 away from not being able to fly legally. So as you can tell, tensions were getting high. Finally gets on the plane, he comes out again and tells us that everything's going to be okay and he's going to do his best to make up the time.
So we've had a big, long delay. Good news, the engineers have looked at the airplane, they're happy that they've described it as a little bounce. I don't know what a little bounce is. They're happy that it's quite legal. It's absolutely no damage to the airplane. It's perfectly safe to fly. And I promise you, if it was even a slight doubt about that, I'd be in a hotel now and not flying the airplane because I'm not interested in flying things that aren't any good.
End result is we arrived back in Luton 4 hours too late. It's actually 4 hours 10 minutes, but that gets moderated down. It works out. I'm over 3 hours but under 4 hours late. And I'm working that day. I'm in Luton, kiddo lives in Birmingham, I work in Shrewsbury. Do the math. Essentially, under EU 261 regulations, if a flight is delayed by more than 3 hours, the airline is eligible to pay you compensation except for in extraordinary circumstances, and weather is one of those circumstances. However, my argument is, once it became a heavy landing, it was no longer a weather issue. So they owe me compensation. And I'll be honest, I've had 9 flights in the last 2 years, and this is the first time I've been in this position. And I've always wondered what I would do. You know, this trip, I think the flights are about £30 each. We're potentially on for 520 compensation. I think if everybody did that, flight prices would go up. However, I always thought I would be the sort that would, you know what, I'm only a couple of hours, I've had a cheap holiday, I've had a great holiday. In this case, I think the fact that they reneged on their decency to offer us a drink and a snack, then when we got on the plane, I half thought, well, they've got a buffet car, they might offer us a drink and a snack now. Nothing, they informed us the buffet car would be coming round and what the prices were. So they had no intention of even apologising for us being late, really. So I think that made my mind up. I've always thought I would be sitting on the fence if it hasn't actually incurred me any major expense like having to stay in a hotel or losing a day's work. I probably wouldn't bother. However, the lack of concern for us has made me decide to bother. So much so, I actually filed the claim while I was on the shuttle bus back to the airport. Now you may ask why I filed a claim. Budget airlines in particular do everything they can to get out of this. And if you go for a claims company, if you had the fighting chance of getting the money, you will probably get it. Now there's loads out there, and the one I found was actually on the Athens airport arrivals board thing on the website. So I thought, you know what, I'll just jump on the first one. I'm going to put a link in the description in case you want to try it, and I'm going to level up with you. If you link to it through me, I'm going to get a tenner kickback. But they're probably as good or as bad as any of the others. I am in no way recommending them because I'm still only part of the way through the process. But what I can tell you is the process was dead easy. You tell them the flight, you tell them your arrival time, they say you've got a claim, they ask for a copy of your boarding card, and they say we'll be in touch. They've told us we're on, because there was two of us, for £520. So what do you guys think? Would you have claimed? Do you think I'll get the money? Have you claimed recently? Were you on the fateful flight back from Athens on Monday the 9th of December with us? If so, comment below and say hi. I'm going to do an update via my shorts when I actually get a compensation or not. So keep an eye on my videos to see how it goes. And thanks for watching.